Right, this is massive. eBay just dropped $1.2 billion to buy Depop. They got 7 million buyers, 90% under the age of 34, $1 billion in fashion sales. On paper, it looks like a massive power move, but is it? Is this eBay finally locking in the younger demographic, or are they just admitting that they can't beat Vinted organically? Does this mean more traffic for us or more competition? The fees change? Does Depop stay separate, or does it disappear in 5 years? This could reshape resale or it could completely backfire. Today, we're going to be breaking down both sides, the opportunity and the risk, because right now, no one actually knows how this plays out. So, gentleman marketeer Simon, let's get into it. How are we?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. Thanks for a bit of an impromptu one, but we kind of thought this was important enough to have a discussion. Whether I think there's going to be lots of people who are not particularly that worried, but I also think it's worth us actually digging a little bit deeper just to see how it's going to affect us. Maybe not right now, but maybe in the longer term.
It's probably like a huge talking point. I mean, we've seen Instagram stories. There's been a couple of videos gone up. There's news articles. There is so much going on. So we thought, you know what, like we might as well just jump on it and then see if we can contribute, which is completely hilarious because neither of us, I don't even think I've sold one item on Depop, but we speak to people within the community. We know people that do sell on there. So I think we can kind of contribute and bring some stuff to it because there's going to be so many people, mate, that speak about this in a UK perspective, but I think it's way bigger than this. Like, it's not eBay UK buying Depop UK. This is eBay buying Depop. Like, this is worldwide, mate.
That's exactly my take on it. And I've done a little bit of deep diving. I've done a little bit of research just to think, and that's exactly how I see it personally. I think it's a more of a global move than just, as you say, like Depop UK, like being like bought by like eBay UK. I think it is. I think the real power move is, I think in America, Depop is pretty significant over there, whereas they don't really have a Vinted. Where the UK, like Vinted, is still very dominant. So I think it's really interesting.
Right, I want to know from you guys whether you're watching the replay or whether you're in the live chat now, especially if you're in the live chat now. I'm going to put a banner up. So, do you think this is completely reckless by eBay? And there's going to be so many people that say Depop's dead, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Or do you think this is a crazy power move? Do you think this is a good move by eBay? And don't think about what anyone else is typing in the chat. Just literally put your opinion right now because we're going to flash it up. We're going to talk about different opinions. And then we're just going to also play out or see how we think this could possibly play out. So put that in the side chat now. I'll flash it up pretty much as we're going. So get it in there now. Tell me, is this bad? Is this good? Completely reckless or crazy good? So yeah, whack that in the chat now, and it will add to the chat. But I think just off the bat, it's kind of like they're trying to control the re-commerce market, like the actual market share globally. I think this is a real move in terms of, say, if we're thinking about, let's go straight into the US side of things. Like, it's huge over there, and Vinted are kind of like, they want to play, as in like they want to move and control the aspects of the US, the younger demographic, all that kind of thing. I feel like it's a real play with that, as in trying to take control of that side of things, just so that it makes it a little bit harder for people like Vinted to be getting in. I don't really know how to word it, but I kind of feel like it's a play on that younger demographic just off the bat.
I think you're absolutely right. For me, I think it's the ability to dominate the market. I think they're trying to purely and simply buy market share. At this precise moment, I think eBay, even in America, I think they recognize that Vinted is turning into a juggernaut. And so in Europe, like Vinted is a real dominant brand now, whereas it's not made its way over to America, but I can see it happening. I know that they've like started to like put a lot more over there. I think that eBay recognizes that it needs to do something, and I think it is so antiquated as much as we love eBay as a platform, it's being left behind. And I think this may be a little shake up to say, right, we do understand. We know that the eBay platform is dated. Okay, right. Well, we might not be able to do too much right this moment, but okay, what we do is let's go for a younger demographic. Let's go for the under 30s and who sells majority on those ones, which is going to be the Depoppers. And I think, like you mentioned it the other day, there's still a lot of people. There's, I think, 7 million active buyers on Depop at the moment, which I think is that's significant amounts of sellers. I don't know how many in the UK. I think the numbers have dwindled, but I think worldwide, I think it's still a very prevalent platform.
I mean, we said 90% under the age of 34, and flip that on eBay, the majority is over 35. So it's like polar opposites in a way. But you get that. The thing is, when I think of Depop, this is the thing. I haven't sold on there. I don't think I've sold one thing. I don't think I've barely been on the app. But it feels like there's a bit of like a following. It's like it's a nice. I think Xander was in the group the other day, and the way he described it was like if you have like a cool like Y2K or like vintage, or I don't really know the right words to describe this, but you know that it goes on to Depop and you know that it sells very, very well there. It's like that kind of demographic. And it's already that like secondhand selling app, which eBay is just like a kind of like a whole thing. Like there's different categories within it. But with Vinted and that user experience going over to the US, those guys will probably take to it very, very well. But with eBay buying that, and this is the thing, like we were talking about it last night, and will they completely shut it down? Who knows? But the experience on there, and tell me in the chat if you think this as well, the experience of buying on Depop, is it a much better experience buying on there than eBay? Because I think Michelle said it last night. It feels like it's a chore when you go on eBay. It feels like a chore. Whereas when you're on Vinted, and maybe even when you're on Depop and you're scrolling on it, it's actually quite a nice experience.
I think Depop was pretty much the founder when it comes to the social side of it. I think they wanted people to get involved and message each other and like and friends and all that side of it, and build up followers. I think they were one of like the real, and that's hence why they've got such a younger demographic, that everyone within who's selling on there is that much younger. And I think eBay are realizing that they're just dinosaurs, and they need to do something about it.
Do you think like maybe even eBay knows that they're never really going to win that race with the Gen Z, like organically? So instead, like if they can't really build it, they're just going to buy it. They're just going to buy out competition. It kind of feels like that in a way.
I think so. It does feel that they are just trying to think, what do we do? Right, okay, let's buy buy the attention. Yeah. But again, the whole unknown of what they're actually going to do. No, none of us know when it comes to what is eBay's bigger plans for Depop as a platform. Are they going to suddenly put fees? Because let's face it, eBay don't mind putting fees on things. Are they going to do the same for are they going to increase fees? Because you better believe they want part of their money back. $1.2 billion paid in cash. They're going to want a return on that without a doubt.
We looked at it literally just before we went live, probably like literally a couple of minutes, and we was like, I wonder what they earn per year globally. And it was just shy of 2 billion last year. That was like that was net. And I was like, okay, so it's like not even a year's worth for them. So is that a drop in the ocean? I don't know. But yeah, like you said, when there was free fees for that kind of end of Q4, then afterwards, I think it came maybe like regulatory listing fee or something like that. There was some sort of fee that felt like it was trying to claw it back a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see kind of how they go about it. But tell me, what do you think? How do you think it's going to go? So flip or flop? I hope they make Depop UK like Vinted, free to sell and buyer pays a small fee. I used to love Depop. So the way that the fees work on there, mate, and tell me in the chat as well, like how does it actually work? Because I think off the top of my head, it's a low fee. I don't know if it's completely free. Or is it? Do you know the answer to that, Simon?
Personally, I don't know.
Yeah.
We should have done a bit more research on that side of it.
Right, mad fades, good move, clever buying data. So they might have paid 1.2 billion for the data. Like they could effectively close it down. I think James was saying the other day, or someone said the other day, no, it was James. They bought Gumtree, I think, quite a while ago, and I think it's still going, but no one really goes on it. No one really does anything with it unless it's different in different countries. I don't know, but there's a big thing about buying data here as well, and then they can use that data whether it migrates over, and they should completely shut it down, or what they do with it. But Xander will be way more clued up than me in that.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to keep up. They do this. They do live now, like the tilt and that, and now this will be with the younger people. So they'll do live on that. Yes, they do live like tilt. So wait, so Depop do live?
No, I think they're saying that eBay are trying
Okay.
to do different things. So they've just introduced the eBay Live. Tilt is already a younger demographic. Maybe they actually will go down the route of actually turning. They could potentially, again, this is just me thinking out loud, they could potentially move people on eBay Live, turn Depop into a live selling platform, and just have that as their main, and just like don't have eBay Live anymore, but they actually like transfer it all over to there. That could be like a move.
Michelle was saying yesterday that because it's a nice user experience and because it's more of that social selling, that kind of like feel good factor that Vinted has. And she said that she told to eBay, or she said to eBay, that it would be really good if they could have just like a pure fashion app. Like eBay just have that completely separate so that you can do bundles, so that you can do, I don't know, customer services better, so you can do instant messaging, something completely separate for that. This could be that thing.
Could
I mean,
be.
the user experience with, I don't know whether they have bundles, I don't know whether they have that sort of stuff, but if they just took it and then maybe did a few tweaks, like maybe it could be the fashion app. So, and then it's already got that demographic.
If they do it right, and if they really think about it, I think that this could be incredible. If you're a fashion seller, and then they have a dedicated, similar to like Vinted, you could say that that's a fundamentally a fashion selling. That I know you can sell other things on there as well, but it's really designed for fashion as well. Maybe eBay's big plans is that they turn Depop and really like move it, and then stick with eBay for the everything else, for the CDs, for the media, for the massive big sombreros. Who knows? But maybe they actually move the whole thing over.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously taking that huge share before Vinted actually get well established over there. So you've already got a bit of a share over there. You make the tweaks on the app, you make it a pure fashion app. Who knows? Like, could be way off the mark, but there is a possibility.
This is speculation.
Absolutely. I bought from Vinted USA sellers, so it must be in the USA already. Yes. Yeah, I've seen that a little bit now. But that's what I mean. They're still establishing themselves. It reminds me kind of over there, how it is now, of how it was with us with the TV adverts and bombarding with the whole advertisement stuff. So they're going in heavy over there. But this just could be a huge play from eBay to, yeah, just take the app, to take the audience, to take the user interface and then make it better without actually trying to play about with, you know, the algorithm and everything that is on eBay as a whole already. Because it's like clothing is just such a tiny subsection of the whole of eBay. So that could just be the whole dedicated one. I think it's a good move for the USA, for the US market, but not sure it will impact the UK that much. Vinted is too big here and Depop is massively in its shadow. So from the very beginning, that's why I completely reiterated a lot of the social posts, a lot of the stories and all that kind of stuff. We'll probably just purely be looking at it from a UK perspective, but this was eBay buying Depop from Etsy as a whole. And I think they bought it for, was it 1.6? They lost like maybe 400 million.
1.6 they purchased it for, and sold for 1.2. So realistically, eBay, if you look at it, has got a bit of a bargain, unless the books show that Depop is failing massively, which that could be the case as well.
But over here, whether it's dying or not is probably really small in comparison to the data, to the US like markets, to Australia as well is absolutely ridiculous because they only really had two big players, and that was eBay and Depop. And essentially they have almost pretty much monopolized it unless I'm way off the mark here. So yeah, that's huge for those guys over there. Um, it's a monopoly. eBay brought Depop just to gain more market share. Absolutely. Could tilt the marketplace advantage towards sellers who already specialize in unique, trending, vintage, streetwear, and curated fashion. Could tilt. So this is the live selling platform Tilt, isn't it?
No, it is, but I don't think that's what they're talking about. I think they're.
Oh God, they're saying tilt as in. Oh my Jesus Christ! I'm getting I'm well off of it there. I'm thinking tilt the actual live selling.
Yeah. So I think that this is about the just. I think eBay just recognizes that they need to do something, and I don't think they really know. So like because they're so cash rich, Joe, what? We just like throw $1.2 billion at something, and hopefully that will work. I think that's what they're going to do.
I want to know what it's like in Europe as well, because we kind of know what it's like in the UK. Kind of can see what it will be like in the US, Australia, but I don't know about Europe. That's what I don't know. So if you get a lot of sales within Europe and stuff like that, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the replay, because that would be interesting as well. Your take on how it'd be there. Because this is the global thing. This isn't just UK. eBay trying to keep up with the times, but also move to counter the Vinted US move. I think that's a huge part of this. Even though there is the data aspect, there's the worldwide aspect. But I think that they're scared at the minute because there's such a takeover here. They've got a massive stronghold in Europe. I don't know if they're in Asia, Australasia. I don't know if they're anywhere like that. But it's that move. If they can swoop in, get the US, because it's very new. So I think that's a massive part of it. Sally was saying Depop is easy to use. It's lovely. So that user interface, I'm guessing, is way better than eBay when it comes to a customer going on and buying.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. And again, full transparency, I've never sold on it, and I don't think I've even bought off of it either. But
I just think there's more of a community there, mate. Actually, here we go, Sarah. So Depop buying experience is so much better than eBay. The ease of bundles is great. I'm a top seller on it still, and I've had a great experience with the customer service. So yeah, I know Sarah sells on there, and there is more. It feels like more of a community, and with the whole you see people taking pictures with their with the actual clothes that they're selling on. There's definitely differences about it, but I don't know really too much about the experience going on there. And it's really making me want to download it and have a little look, especially now that there's been this takeover. But I'm not sure if this takeover is expected soon or if it's already happened. So I don't know if this actually, I think it was maybe, I don't know, that I might have to check the facts. I should have got a press release.
I think it goes through in, I want to say in March. So around that time, I think it goes through. I think it has to go through regulations to check on monopolies and that side of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How would that be possible if there was two major players in Australia and then it's just one? Is it okay because it's global? I don't know. eBay moving like Microsoft, can't have competition if you buy them all out. And I think there was a point, mate, where they tried to buy Vinted. And just like all of us, they was haggling. They lowballed it. And I don't think they got it. Obviously, they didn't get it. But yeah, they didn't succeed. I don't know when that was. Was that when they was on the come up? Maybe probably. There a few years ago?
They probably thought that they didn't need to spend a huge amount because they would dominate them anyway. So I don't think they would. There's been certainly a couple of companies in the past that have really mucked up big time, the old days of the Blockbuster video. I think that's one of the biggest ones. I think Blockbuster could have bought I think it was equivalent to Netflix, but they actually said no one will want streaming videos in their house. People want to come to the shop to get a video. Yeah, that was a mistake, wasn't it? So just because a big company, you think they're infallible, I think they can still make mistakes.
Yeah. All right, let me go to the next one. I've lost track. eBay sees Vinted success in the UK. Vinted trying to break into the US. Have I read this one? No, I haven't. Okay, eBay uses Depop to replicate UK success in the US and not lose same market share as in the UK. Simples. Depop customer service was ace. It was a real person, not a bot. They could outperform Vinted with customer service at least. That's a huge thing as well, because Vinted customer service is trash. That's the one thing I love about eBay. But Depop customer service, like I said, like you tell us exactly how it is if you sell on Depop, because I'd love to know what your opinions are on it. But yeah, Depop customer service. Oh God, yeah. If you could have Vinted with very good customer service, and maybe the element of like global, which they're obviously trying to do, huge. No lives yet on Depop. I don't know if that's something that they would do because they're already doing it on eBay. But I think a lot of people are, I don't know, feel like the live section needs to be better. What are your thoughts? Because you did a live today, actually. Do you think the integration with live could be better?
I think it potentially could. But again, it's all about how they market it and how they integrate it into the platform. At the moment, I think eBay is good, but I still think it's lacking. If you look at the companies like Whatnot, I think they're more slicker, but it is like the Wild West, unfortunately. I think something like the Depop would be incredible if they could actually integrate that, where you really build up. I think it was similar to like Poshmark. When Poshmark came over to the UK, I think they really wanted people to have communities and to get involved with other people and all that side of it. But obviously that didn't work. But I think if eBay can push this down the route, whether it's on eBay Live or whether they actually move it over to a platform like Depop and then have a dedicated platform for it, because let's face it, Whatnot is just a live selling platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't go on there and actually buy stuff. So I think if they go down that route, that might actually work very well.
Would you like another fashion app? Like, would you like? How does that sound to you? Or do you think it's needless? Like, do you think it's fine as it is?
It probably, it's hard to know. It's probably needless, but I think there is still a market. I think it's great. I read something a little while ago.
Like, you as a buyer, do you like the whole bundle stuff and all like that? Because I think that's epic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like buying bundles is incredible.
Depop is like, sorry, that was a reply to someone else. They used to do meetups though in the UK, and I always think like, because eBay are very, very good when it comes to, especially now more recently with the road shows, with the meetups, all the seller meetups, and then also you have the open. So yeah, they used to do meetups like that. Maybe they were like on a smaller scale, but I always wonder if like people like Vinted are going to do stuff like that in the future. But maybe it won't go down that route. Juan, future for me, Depop is pony. Other than the customer service, sounds like the customer service is really good though.
Maybe they that's what they do. They kind of like become like turn that Depop into the customer service app.
Other than customer service, like there's someone in here or the replay. Do you love it? Do you prefer it way more than eBay? Do you do well on it in terms of sales, or do you just really like it but you just don't do as well on it as eBay and Vinted? Like, what's the case with it? So Georgia, Brittany, Depop was ahead of its time, in my opinion. Around 2015, it was social media meets eBay and a real fashion community. Styling, modeling, and curated feeds are still the key to succeed there. Yeah. So which feels like it was just a little bit ahead of its time, but it could get a huge revamp, because now we've seen like what we see with Vinted, and like the For You page is just such a hack, mate. We spoke about it when it comes to vintage sniping with Jamie, and it's weird because we're in that whole, it's moving up with Gary Vee talks about it. Like, it's not really social media anymore. It's interest media. So you get fed what you're into. So whether you like your hobbies or just the stuff that you binge watch or whatever, that's the kind of stuff that you get. When you go on Vintage, you get a bit of that. It's like if I've bought barber stuff or if I've bought Ralph stuff or whatever, you're getting pinged left, right, and center with it. So if you could have something like that, like eBay shopping, because I was thinking about this as well, and it was to do with the eBay Live. Michelle said it last night, and she was like, imagine a way, and this is crazy, super, like, it would be stupidly smart, but you're actually searching on eBay or whatever, but you get interrupted with a live to do with what your search is. I don't know how the hell they would do that, but I feel like that would be better for you guys as like live sellers, rather than just you got to, because I said, how do you get on live? And you was like, right, click on the home thing, then click top left to the green button, and then you're in. I don't know. I feel like if you were a bit more interrupted, but then would that completely piss people off that are searching? Because you know exactly what you want, really, don't you?
So if that was the case, do you get annoyed, for example, on Vinted, when you go to your homepage and it suddenly gives you all the suggestions that you actually are looking for? You're going to be pleased with that, aren't you? I think the whole algorithm where it actually suggests there's certain things, like when you're on like Facebook and suddenly you talk about something and suddenly like it pops up on there, you go like, oh, why do I want to know? That's not a thing. Like the smart ones are, if you're actively looking for these items, then it gives you suggestions which are very tailored to you. I think that's such a good thing. I really do.
100%. I agree with the gentleman. It's eBay buying market share. They have accepted Vinted has taken market share, so they react. It's always a reaction. There's always been a reaction. We've gone over so many reactions. By trying to milk a higher percentage of fees from each sale now, they're buying the competition. The fees thing, though, and I think Sarah might have touched on it down here, so we're going to get to the fees. And also, Georgia Brittany said, so the Depop fee is tiny, like 3%. Beauty is very popular on there, as well as fashion, because of the demographic reach. Sarah reiterated, fees like 2.8%. You can promote, boost your items, and that's 12% on top. 12% on top for, okay. But yeah, I mean, when we're looking at eBay stuff, the fees, take away promotions and all that kind of stuff. Was it like all the different fashion categories is between like what, 10 and 15%?
Yeah.
When you're looking at like 2.83%, it's ridiculously low. But it wouldn't start. I think if eBay have control of it, they may, I don't know, people might migrate over to it or whatever. But then do you think down the line, say if they do keep hold of it and they make adjustments or whatever, do you think it will be kind of like an introductory thing? Like migrate over to it, cross list to it, do whatever. And then down the line, there will be some regulatory listing fee. There will be higher fees. There will be crazy higher promoted fees or whatever. Like, do you feel like they're going to get you in, make it super like social, hit you with stuff like interest media kind of thing, and then slowly claw it back?
I'd love to say, oh, Luke, you're so cynical. But unfortunately, I think you're probably right. I think that's exactly what they would do. They will hit you with the good news, get you in, going, oh, aren't we brilliant? Look, free fees for you. Way. And then a year later, right, well, good news. We've decided tonight, because the general public is crying out for it, we're going to put fees onto it. But what we will do is you will get a little star extra in the top of your listings.
Because it's not a monster, because it's not like it might even be a monster, I don't know, but because it's not a monster like eBay where it's crazy built out and we know any changes take a long time to happen, do you feel like because it's maybe like a lot smaller company, it will be easier to make changes, as in like put the fees on the buyer side and stuff like that? Do you think that they might be using it as, we can't really do it on eBay, so maybe we can kind of use Depop, change it, make it all the tweaks, and then make the user experience cool, and maybe give it upgrades, and then introduce that? Because they've probably seen Vinted do it and they're like, this is the only way it's going. I don't really think we can carry on with the crazy fees. They might
I could see it, but at the end of the day, I don't think any decisions, that the beauty of Vinted is there's probably a couple of guys in a boardroom who run Vinted who are doing incredibly well, but they're incredibly agile,
flexible.
So, like that, they can make decisions, and we know they've done it. They will make decisions like that, and they will deal with it. eBay, even if it is Depop, is still under the umbrella of eBay.
Mm.
They're not going to make like big decisions like that. They're not going to suddenly go, right, okay, right, let's just make some big changes on here. It will go through board of directors. It will go through committees. It will be tested for months and years on end before anything actually happens. I think that is unfortunately the bit that they could test it out on the Depop platform, and I think that would be amazing. But whether they will, I don't know.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, so the buyer side in terms of the fees, if they made it on fashion, then maybe like electronics or footwear or collectibles kicks up a massive fuss that it's not going across the whole platform. This could be that fashion app. This could be the secondhand re-commerce, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be. We need to kill off Vinted by like completely taking over with this. It's a possibility. By the way, did you know Etsy owned Depop? Didn't have a clue about that.
No, didn't know that.
I used to get more on Depop than eBay. If you've got the main feed, it was amazing. I've seen a couple of people like reshare and put a screenshot of when they hit a main feed. So that main feed kind of makes me think of the For You page. But is that like what's popping, what people are liking the most? I mean, and then when you go to the main feed, I'm guessing you get crazy traction or crazy traffic. I'm guessing that's kind of how it works.
I can imagine it, and again, I'm only speculating, but I can imagine it being similar to the eBay buy box, where the buyer instantly sees your item.
Oh, so like Amazon.
I think. Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. Amazon. My apologies. So yeah, Amazon like buy box, and I think that's exactly what it is. I think with Depop, if you get onto that area, like everyone is looking at it. Like the traffic just goes through the roof, and you got more chance of selling.
Used to snipe some nice old denim on Depop from the Y2K kids. It's still great for snipes. I would never think about going on anywhere else and sniping, because we've had a few people that say they do it on eBay, and then obviously now on or previously on Depop. I would never think about doing that. But I'm guessing like anyone can undersell anything massively on any platform, I'm guessing. Evening, George. I sell internationally on Depop fairly frequently. I'd love some sort of global shipping integration. So I'm guessing this is big as well, by the way. So I'm going to get around to it. But like, I'm guessing it's probably quite complicated when it comes to shipping. It's probably like the old way before GSP came in to eBay. But this is the thing: if they combined user experience with logistics, like the global shipping program, things like that, that could be huge. Because essentially Vinted don't have anything like that, do they? Apart from obviously the link up with the US. But if they could combine all those elements,
I think that'd be a really good move.
Because that's what, don't get me wrong, like obviously sometimes the shipping and customers are, it's quite expensive to get global shipping and send it out. So easy. Honestly, you tick a box and then all of a sudden you open up pretty much the entire world. It's the nuts.
Yeah.
I wonder if Depop approached eBay or eBay approached Depop. Might have been Etsy trying to get out. I don't know.
Could be.
Q2. I'm guessing that's probably when they're gonna exchange, maybe.
When it merges.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that, but I should have had that ready. Should have known that. Smart move. eBay can afford to buy Vinted, but it wouldn't be a wise move right now. They simply wait for Vinted to lose popularity, which will happen, and then buy them at their bottom. I think
that's bold.
Like, that's got to be the complete opposite of what everyone's thinking, surely. Like, if you agree with that, please let me know and back it up, because I see firsthand the entire opposite. I don't even know, like, what would Vinted be worth? If Depop is 1.2 billion, what the hell is Vinted worth? And I know Depop is probably, I don't know, maybe more global, but Vinted in Europe, Vinted now going into US, like, it's so popular here. But although we're just speaking on the UK perspective, I don't know.
But that being said, how valuable is Depop in America?
How valuable is that data? How valuable is 90% below 34? Like,
yeah. Whereas I still think Vinted would be that's not 1.2 billion.
What are you going, 10, 20, 100?
Yeah, I think you could be talking 100.
That's crazy.
It is, but I don't know if there would there be a number?
I need to read this again. They simply wait for Vinted to lose popularity, which will happen in brackets.
Like, it's an interesting take.
No, it isn't. No, I mean, this will be here forever, so we could be wrong. Don't know. I think eBay can shift the clothes selling to Depop and focus on the other niches. I think that is honestly, I think it's an option, and it might play out, it might not. But the opposite, which we spoke about a little bit last night as well, some people think that it might just shut down. eBay might just gradually, completely shut the platform down. Now, I understand this perspective, but I think that could be a huge, like, dangerous move, because say they buy it and they shut it down. They like, right, Depop is no more. Places like Australia and all that, that's probably fine because it's just them anyway. But imagine them being like, okay, sweet, like, I'm just going to go where the best user experience is. Maybe they just completely flood to Vinted. Like, don't know.
I would love, wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall in eBay when they're sitting down going, right, okay, what shall we do with Depop? We've just bought it. What are we actually going to do? Can you imagine just the conversations? And who would they bring in? People, youngsters, dare I say, who are really finger on the pulse, lots of social media savvy. Would they do that, or is it going to be in a stuffy boardroom thinking, right, okay, we need to maximize our profits? I mean, it'd be interesting to find out that.
Yeah, I'd love to see all that. You can buy direct on Whatnot Lads listed items. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that until Xander said he sold a few things, and he was like, oh, I didn't have to do any streaming. I'm like, wait a minute, it's a live streaming platform. What are you on about? But no, you can literally just buy off there anyway. I haven't seen it or been on it, but
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, George has been to 2 Depop summits, so I'm guessing they're pretty big, or they was pretty big events. Let me know, George, were they anything like eBay Open or eBay Roadshows, or is it literally just pure like social, no information, just like pretty much mingling, community stuff? At least everyone on Depop can accept offers and not just leave you hanging. Yeah, crazy. Pony is such an underrated word. Yeah, someone used that earlier. I was like, yeah, I never use that word. Pony, Depop's pony. I genuinely love Depop and their buyers, but sales are low and infrequent, one a day or every other day. Yeah, and Xander lists quite a bit as well. So, yeah, low sales. Depop made US sign a non-disclosure agreement when Depop made us sign a non-disclosure agreement when we went to Depop Summit in London. Would they be null and void now? I could blab a secret or two. Oh my god, he's got all the sauce. I don't know. Maybe there's I think that's void. So yeah,
I don't know. Would that carry over though?
What, a non-disclosure agreement?
Yeah, and contracts and stuff like that. Would it carry over? I don't know. I think George should actually test it out. I think that could be his new video.
No. Test it here. This is where you test it. Depop changed their fee structure in 2024. Before that, there was an additional 10% fee on the sale price, including shipping. Ooh. I think I remember when everyone was resharing it, when they went, was it 0% fees for a certain time? I feel like that happened. Could be wrong. Depop top seller here. Depop's been dying a slow death for a while. I've heard from a few people that most of the top 100 weekly sellers on there are people drop shipping. It's big volume though, isn't it, with drop shippers? You know what I mean? Usually it's small margins, so you got to shift a lot of volume. Yeah, top seller there. I'd be interested, like, if people like Xander would probably do at least like have a daily listing go on there. So yeah, for people listing, say like 10, 15 items, like selling one a day isn't really adequate. Can probably sell my niggas on Depop. Vinted is best for sniping for me. Yeah, to be fair, I've tried it on eBay, Alex, and wasn't really for me. I tried it on the auctions more than anything, but yeah, Vinted won't sell. I certainly wouldn't be selling that. Jesus Christ. Plus, we do want a bit of competition, don't we, mate? Like, usually it does drive fees down. It makes people innovate a little bit more. I know, like, obviously some platforms can be very reactive with it, but especially, was it last Q4 when we had 0 fees for eBay and Vinted, or was it the year before that? No, it was a year before that, wasn't
Year
it?
before, yeah.
It's Christ, that's a lifetime ago. We said that we'd look back on that point and be like, that was the moment. That was the golden months. Whoa, I didn't know lives at this time now. Yeah, I know we are. This is the bonus live. This is coming at you. We're trying to be. We said we're going to try and be a little bit more reactive in terms of news. And although both of us haven't sold on Depop, we know that a lot of you guys have, and we're just going to try and bring some theories, some hypotheticals on the way that we think that it might go and what our personal opinions are on it. So yeah, we're going to try and do a little bit more than that. Wasn't it a 4 billion valuation last year for Vinted? I reckon that's gone up. But what did you say? You said 100.
I said 100. I may well have been like way over.
Oh, it's crazy. We're talking like Tesla, Apple, they're probably like $1 trillion companies.
Yeah.
I've started to list back on Depop now. Yeah, I wonder how that's going to be, because there might be like a migration, like as in you list on Depop and then it's slow, it gets shown on eBay. I don't know if it would be vice versa though. But yeah, there could be a migration with that. It could just be there's no like cross listing needed. It just shows up on both platforms.
So how would you manage that though? Would you have to opt in? Would you have to say, right, I want to actually list on eBay and on Depop? Do you have to like do a tick thing? Or I don't think it would do that.
I don't know. We should ask eBay next week.
Yeah.
Sorry, 8 billion. Oh God, he was half.
See, I am closer then.
Yeah, you're still like what, 92 off?
Yeah.
5 bill probably. TikTok is nearly equal to eBay in terms of sales, but TikTok are now pushing for sellers for pre-owned goods. That seems wild, mate. TikTok.
That's mental.
Yeah, the amount of content about TikTok shops, TikTok affiliates. So yeah, this might just be eBay's way of tapping into that younger demographic. That's what I personally see from this. Maybe Vinted have won the UK battle, but they've not won the war yet. This is the thing. It's like maybe it's just gradually slowing that down. Do you think inevitably they'll be big in the US? Do you think like it just will happen?
Honestly, I don't know. And the reason I say I don't know, there's things that I think is just absolutely incredible when it comes to Vinted. And I know that this is like we're talking about like the Depop side of it, but I think this is relevant. My downside, the bit that I'm concerned about Vinted not growing as much as they potentially want to is because as much as I was saying that they're nimble, they're agile, they can make decisions really quick, I'm also not convinced they make the best decisions. I think sometimes they make decisions, and we've seen it. We've seen lots of people getting banned, lots of sellers getting banned recently. Now, it might be a play that they're trying to get away from, dare I say, like resellers or professional sellers. It doesn't appear that they actually want that. And if they don't want that, is it just for the hobbyist? And they're going to be really limiting their market. And if that's the case, if that's where they're thinking, I don't think they're going to grow as big as they potentially will want to.
Do you think they're just focusing on that that casual seller? Like that market is probably bigger though, isn't it?
Potentially. Yeah, I think it is. And if you speak to the general public, and I think they will absolutely say that, oh yeah, isn't Vinted easy for selling on? But I think you need a bit of both. You can't suddenly go, right, well, we don't want you lot on our platform. You're just like chopping your nose off to spite your face. I don't understand that logic.
There was a load of people that got a message from Vinted, and they were pro sellers, and they got a message about selling professionally. So I mean, it was probably a big mistake, but people were actually being banned that were professional sellers, for selling professionally, which absolutely blew my mind. So there's so many things to work on, but they're still fairly new. So I don't know, they're going to make mistakes and stuff like that. I think they have bought Depop because they are panicking about Vinted. I mean, I think that's an aspect of it, but yeah, it's just this worldwide play. And I think Europe, like, I'm not sure if anyone knows too much about Depop in Europe, how big they are there, because that's a huge market as well. Don't really know anything about whether they're in Asia or anything like that. So, because this is a worldwide thing. But yeah, I think that's a big thing, panicking about that, because that's still fairly new and they're trying to get in there. So DJ Clips, I know someone who works in UK Depop. They told me they only found out about the eBay buyout yesterday. So I mean, I don't know. It's not really a wise move to tell them, though, is it? But I don't know. I'm guessing they're keeping all the staff and everything like that. Like, it's just that everything's going to stay.
I would have thought so. I can't see anyone will see any changes for a good 6 months. I would have imagined, if that. You might not even see anything for the next year. But I think what you said, like, was that really hit the nail on the head. I think us just thinking UK wise, I don't think it's going to make a blind bit of difference. Strategically, worldwide, if you look at the bigger picture, I think this is a very bold move.
That's what I mean. It just, because when I just see the stories and stuff like that, it's like it was just reiterating that it's a dead and dying platform. But it's the way that they can use it. It's the way that they can have data. It's the way that they can capture the demographic. It's the way they can boost the user experience whilst also adding the logistical side of it that eBay is amazing for. So there's so many different elements, mate. That's what I mean. It's just it's so much bigger than the UK. This is obviously a UK based podcast, so obviously we're going to touch on that as well. Yeah. The thing with Depop is the one thing you sell is the item that's not selling elsewhere. So it does make it worth it. It's weird because the thing with Depop is the one thing you sell is the item that's not selling elsewhere. So yeah, I don't know.
It's good. It's good to actually get rid of sticky stock, apparently.
Yeah, and some people use that for other apps like Vinted and that.
Yeah.
Because there's no fees. So and with Depop, Georgia and Sarah were saying that it's 2.83%. So yeah, put it on there, make it a lot lower price, and yeah, get rid of it. Yeah, you love eBay for life, don't you? Proper. Now he does. You mean D-Bay? Oh god, there we go. Vinted spend 500 mil on soft launching in the USA over the holidays. 50 mil. As long as they take a slow and low approach without effing up their USP, aka no seller fees, it will definitely grow. I think if they just kept everything the same and then just expanded, pumped the marketing, all that side of things, I think people would gravitate to it slowly.
Can you imagine if Vinted really dominate America? That I think that will then really be. I think that would absolutely scare eBay. Whether eBay are scared now is another. That's up for discussion. I'm sure some people will say they are. Some people will say they're not. But if they dominate over in America, Vinted, I guarantee that eBay will be quaking.
Man, I'm just thinking of this whole like fashion app side of things. I was like, imagine if eBay had a dedicated one for that. The migration was fairly quick, and then you get the whole For You page, you get the bundles, you get GSP, you get all of that stuff. I think that'd be unreal.
But then you got the customer service as well.
So say the customer service side is from eBay, is from Depop, which is apparently amazing or really good. So like all the elements coming into one. Yeah. Imagine that.
Incredible. That could be like the real move, I think. If they could integrate that, turn it into the new Vinted equivalent, go head to head against them, but if they could do like zero fees on there as well.
Yeah, if they're
they might do that to start with and like introduce it later. But if they do that, and you've got all this extra, you've got this GSP, you've got the customer service, and if someone's trying to scam you, you've got someone you can actually pick up the phone to and actually speak to them about it. Like you are ditching Vinted.
I think it'd be huge. Yeah, like that's what I mean. If they're nimble enough, if they could be more flexible enough with that app, that they could flip it onto the buyer side? I mean, let me know if you're watching the replay, if you're in the live chat now. Would that tempt you enough? Like, then again, it's like you can still cross list and all like that,
You
but
do both, can't you?
yeah, does that fill you with a lot more joy when it comes to eBay? And would you be fully open for that? I don't know who the hell wouldn't be, because that just seems like it's got every single element that we would take from eBay, that we would take from Vinted, but all in one. Oh, that'd be beautiful. What is Depop? What is Depop? Depop could be huge soon. We don't know. Depop sits perfectly between eBay and Vinted, offering better stats and insights than Vinted, with an easier upload process than eBay, making it a natural next step for Vinted users.
That's so well written, and exactly that makes me go like, makes perfect sense.
It does, mate. What's wild is no one was speaking about Depop in the UK except a select few, Xander, Sarah, George, before yesterday. I can't see it suddenly bouncing back. I think eBay paid for the data. And I think James was with the opinion of it might just go on for a couple of years and then just slowly shut it down. But like I said, that could be dangerous in terms of it's just what they do with the data. And if it was to shut down and you've still got the same old eBay or whatever, that's what I'm saying. Like, shut it down, and then people just go, oh, you know, it's that demographic that aligns perfectly or almost perfectly with Vinted. So I feel like it would just be a simple, okay, Depop's no more, I'm going to go to Vinted, because it's a similar user experience by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Aaron, how does Vinted Global work? I've seen a few listings from the USA, and the postage was just the usual. It blows my mind that. Couldn't see any extra shipping costs. It's extremely low, if not the same, I think. I haven't bought anything from the US, so I'm not too sure. But let me know. Is it exactly the same, or is there a slight fee on it? Because that's pretty nuts. And that's got to change, hasn't it, as well, surely?
Oh,
They've got to be covering a lot of that.
Yeah.
Seems like these companies are spending a lot to try and dominate at the minute, capturing as much market share as possible. I think the cross listing from eBay to Depop will be the move, like how they cross list to Facebook Marketplace in the US. So when we talk about cross listing, what are your thoughts on that as well? Then is this people talking about using software, or basically listing it on eBay and then it naturally cross lists to Depop and vice versa? I don't know what.
Could you imagine that you actually you go onto your main eBay hub and then it breaks down all your stats. You could then integrate everything where you've actually got, if you've got Depop sales, it goes into your hub. If you want to do the postage side of it, you just go into your postage and it actually fulfills all that side of it. That would be incredible. If you could have that would be really game changing. Whereas, like, so you don't actually even have to go into it. Like, you just like that, and then it just is a button, cross list to Depop. You do that, and then you can manage it all in the hub. That, I think, now that's proper pie in the sky.
So there's no like £10-15 a month for cross listing services. None of that. It's just like, right, click a button, and it goes to this other platform that's ours.
That'd be incredible.
If eBay do that, it's a big win. I'd do that. Yeah, most people would be doing that, I'm guessing. Yeah, what do you think about competition and all that sort of stuff as well? More competition on the app, but also more eyes on the app?
I think so. I don't dislike competition. I think it's very healthy. Kind of like drives everyone forward. Yeah, I'm happy with competition. I wouldn't want just one platform dominating.
Yeah. Competition is healthy, mate. You love a competition as well. Cost 25 for me via crosslist. Be great if it's free. £25. I didn't think it was that much. I thought it was like literally 10-15 quid. But I'm guessing it depends on how many you're doing, Xander. So, but yeah, any final thoughts on this, mate? What are your final takes? Because I liked it when we was piecing everything together and what could potentially happen.
Yeah, I think it's so unknown that all of this is just speculation. We don't know. I think we can hope that they actually. I would love the fact that them turn it into a real fashion app, Depop. I think that would be like just incredible. But we could be talking a year plus before they even integrate anything, which I think would be a real shame. But all in all, I think just looking on the outside, looking in, I just think it's more global. It's a big move to actually get data to try and control the US Depop market, and also to try and show that it's not so old-fashioned, that it can hang with like the youngsters. It wants the younger market, and it knows full well that eBay is not getting the younger market. It might be trying to actually do advertising with Love Island and kind of thing, but it's not really. They're not working. So I think they need to do something else, and that's where I think it's the direction they're going.
I definitely like the whole side of the fashion app. I think combining that, like what we said, user experience plus also the logistical side of it, I really like the sound of that. I don't know if that is even remotely what they're interested in. We'll try and get some more details. But like I said, we're in the UK. This might be a complete, like the guys in the UK at the head office, they might not know anything about where it's going. So that'd be interesting to ask them. Sarah was saying, I've just removed all my items from eBay as well. Don't get the money for style based on items on eBay, but I'd go back there if it was an easy tool to do so. So this is the thing with eBay. It's so brand heavy. Like if you've got poor brands, like you're going to get poor sales. I feel anyway, it's very hard to get it based on style. But when you go to Vinted and Depop, I'm guessing as well, you can't really research solds. So it's very much like if you see something on the homepage or something hits you like there and then, it's like an impulse buy maybe as well. And then based on what certain styles that sell, just pretty much based on style, you know, like Coogie style stuff or fisherman jumpers, like made in Ireland stuff, no non-branded stuff, kind of just
Aaron knit stuff, the big heavy, like all that stuff that they do well. But again, with eBay, you still ideally need a brand. And if it doesn't have a brand, you're kind of like you're putting unbranded onto it, and it's like, could be anyone.
Yeah, you're fully cooked. So yeah, if eBay had that kind of side to it where people impulse buy based on style, that looks cool, I'm going to get it, then that would be sick.
Yeah, I agree.
Would love for you guys to get a big UK Depop seller on for a chat about how they feel. I think that'd be cool. We didn't have enough time to do that for this one because we just wanted to just go live and just have our opinions on it. But that would be sick. I think that'd be really good. eBay is so clunky. Gen Z don't have time for that. It is a task. Like I do feel like it's so like left behind in a way for that. Michelle said about it last night where she said that it just feels like a chore to go on it and find your item, and it's very different. So yeah, don't get me on. I'm far from big, but it's about 25% of my income. More than welcome anytime. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a discussion about it. It would be good. Yeah, but it may be completely old news by the end of the weekend. I don't know. This is massive, I think, anyway. From a business strategic point of view, not this is a dead UK app. Like I'm thinking like differently about this. If Vinted got knocked off the top spot, how would that affect sellers who have leaned into Vinted? If Vinted got knocked off top spot, do you think it's number one?
I think I'm biased. I still think eBay is the number one selling platform.
Fashion.
I think in the world. It's a good question. I don't have a definitive answer. I would still say worldwide, I think eBay still sells more fashion than Vinted. That's what I think. But I don't think it's as close as, but I think it's a lot closer than it ever has been.
I would love to look at sales, you know, eBay versus Vinted fashion, like head to head. I think that'd be sick. eBay might completely blow Vinted out of the water, but I'd just love to see that anyway.
Yeah.
Right, Sarah's already in. Look, she's there, so she's on. We'll just get a date sorted, and then Sarah's in. So yeah, thank you very much for agreeing, Sarah. We'll see you soon, and then you'll be on that deal section there, and we'll have a nice little discussion. But yeah, anything else, mate? Anything else on your mind? Anything else about this big news?
Don't think so. I just wanted to like see. I just like put into ChatGPT who actually sells more fashion around the world.
Okay.
Right. So users reach into eBay has a much larger global user base overall, about around 130 to 130 million active users. Vinted has 100 million registered. Doesn't actually say like who actually has the most. Vinted focused mainly on second-hand fashion. Comparable total GMV size reported at 12.5 billion. It's one of those things you could actually. I think if you keep looking around, you could find lots of different information.
Right, flip or flop. I think this is absolute BS, by the way. So for Apple Store shopping, it's Argos, whatnot, then voted for top 3 times, eBay's 13th. So when it comes to downloads, like what was it that we were speaking about? That the Vinted is much newer in terms of being an app, and eBay would have been there for a very long time, unless this is like recent downloads or whatever. I don't know. Like, I got this the complete other way around. I'm thinking that he said eBay first. I don't know. Wait, what not?
Nah, eBay 13th.
So you
So I can see that, and I think, but I think the majority of that, I presume that is new downloads. People are downloading these shopping apps, whatnot, Argos, Apple, like all that side of it, and that makes like focus sense. But I think eBay has been around for such a long time that the majority of people have already downloaded it. Like we've just like said, how many like millions of kind of users, they don't need to re-download the app, do they?
Yeah, I think it's
so it's going to be skewed without a doubt.
I genuinely feel like that's because I would like to know the data for like new downloads. So it's in like more recent, say within the last year, 2 years, something like that, eBay versus Vinted or whatever. Like, wait, so whatnot? It's Argos whatnot. Whatnot is crazy, man. Whatnot is actually mad. In America, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Argos is first, whatnot is second, and Vinted third. That was supposed to be Vinted, voted. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Right. Apologies, you bang on. Much love. Argos, that's crazy, man. Argos is wild. It is, isn't it? Right. Overall, reckless or power move from eBay. And I've put form eBay. Look at the state of me. Right. What is
it? This is the happy hour.
What are you going? Reckless or power move form eBay?
Me, I'm going take away UK. I'm going power move for the rest of the world.
I'm going power move.
We've said it. That's what we said. That's what we think.
Reckless or power move? Reckless or power move? All right, Aaron's going reckless. Power move. Power move.
They're coming in.
We need to finalize. Power move. George's power move. So we've got one reckless. Rest power move. If you genuinely think it's reckless, put it in.
I think that's it. I think we're done.
Right. I'm going power move. You're going power move.
Yeah.
Xander's gone power move. Right, we're off. Bonus power. 1.2 billion chump change. I think it's actually chump change as well because, like I said, we looked it up. It was just shy of 2 billion that they make per year. Or this was last year. God knows how much it's going to be this year. So, yeah.
Cool.
Good night, everyone. I'm going to go have some dinner.
Thanks, everyone. Really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to us just rant, but yeah, really appreciate it.
All right. Next week we have a guest coming on, and that is the clue. All right.
You're not going to give them any more, or is that it?
No, that's the clue.
Okay, fair enough.
Figure it out. Love. Bye-bye.